All right, is this all on? Is this all on? All right, let's give it a try here. Hey guys, well, this is going to be interesting. So my name's Ryan Parsons. I am from the Diocese of St. Cloud, Minnesota, and I have made this video so many times, but every time I run into issues. Call it spiritual warfare, call it, incompetence, I guess, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. I think it's been good. Because what it has done is it has brought the tone down a little bit. And what I mean by that is I don't want to say I'm upset, but I'm upset. I have been going over the All Things New initiative from the diocese, which, if you're not familiar, the All Things New initiative deals with the current realities of the state of the Diocese of St. Cloud, all the Catholic, stuff in the diocese, and then it deals with them. And I think that's actually a really good thing. I think, especially after you read the report, you think, wow, we are in this dire situation where we need to have a game plan. We need to start picking up the slack here a little bit. So you read the report, and you're like, this is awful. This is awful. And the diocese says, yes, this is awful. Like, we need to close some buildings, and we need to consolidate and form ACCs and clusters and get our books in order. And so I've been making these videos about this, and I'm not good at this. I don't even know how this is going to go online, and maybe it will, maybe it won't, right? But in charity, I can't not talk about this because I bring this up to my friends and my family, and they just are like, what's going on? I haven't heard anything about it. Or maybe they've heard of the listening sessions, but they haven't gone to them, or they don't really know where the resources are. And so they're kind of disconnected from it, even though it's a big deal. Now, after making or failing to make several videos, I just want to make this one just like we're just having a conversation. I'm just talking to you, whoever you are, wherever you are, and we're just going to chat for a few minutes, because one of the reasons I had to not make the other one was because my account isn't verified on YouTube, and so you can only make a 15-minute video. I didn't know that. But anyway, so this won't be long. But let me just say this. The diocese wants to go through with this All Things New initiative. I think it's a good deal. I think it's really good. They're going to clean up the books. They're going to make sure that they're not operating in the red, right? They're going to take care of all of the administrative stuff for the church, and that's good. And I'm mad about it. I'm mad about it because because we're in this situation. I'm mad that we're in this situation. I'm not mad that they're doing something about the situation. I'm just mad that we're in this situation. So let me just differentiate or draw that out. But here's the thing. I'm a layperson, and as much as I can go to these listening sessions, I'm not a part of the magisterium. I don't work at the bishop's office. He doesn't call me and ask me for my advice. My local priests, they don't call me and ask hey, Ryan, what should we do here? And that's fine. That's fine. They have their own people. I don't need to be one of them. However, we do need to do something. And I think as lay people, even if we don't have a plan that's coming down from the top, we can still do something. We can still do something to be ready to go on mission once the diocese has taken care of the management. We can still go on mission. We can prepare ourselves, each one of us, so that when the priests and the bishop and everybody's ready and raring to go, that we can just meet them and join them and say, let's do this thing. Let's re-evangelize the Diocese of St. Cloud. And so what I'm proposing, is not separate from the diocese. It's actually something to help the diocese. Once the buildings close, once the schools close, once everything is closed and consolidated, we have to have hearts still on fire that can see past the smoke, can look past the rubble, can look past the buildings, can look past the management, and then can move forward. And so that's what I want to do. So I'm not, in my past videos, I've been all sorts of stuff that I won't bring up now, but I really don't want to talk about blame. I don't want to talk about, I don't want to talk about all that stuff. What I want to talk about is how do we move forward. And so here's what I've got. I'm going to show you a little bit about the current realities. This is just statistics that the diocese has given us. And so you can go to, You can go to their website here. This is the diocesan website, and you can go to All Things New, and you can click on the resources here, and it'll give you, let me just do this here. Haha, there we go, all this technology, right? So you can go to these resources, and you can look at this for yourself. You go under Documents, and then I like looking at the Current Realities Report. Okay, so this is the Current Realities Report. This is the report that they're giving us to look at, which is a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for giving us all of this information that we can then do something with. And so let's look at it together here. I want to just show a few things that I think are helpful as we move forward as lay people and help support the priests and the bishop through this process. Again, getting ready to go on mission. We can go on mission right now. We don't, if we're ready. So this is good. But we need to be aware of some things, and the diocese has made us aware of some things. So I'm going to fast forward, demographic trends and blah, blah, blah. Like, we all know that people aren't having as many babies as they were in the past, and all of that, okay? Catholic demographic trends. So it is worth noting that in 2010, there's 53,000 Catholic registered households. In 2023, there's only 43,000. So the number of registered Catholic households in the diocese is declining. Okay, you probably know that. But what for me is a bigger deal is mass attendance has declined by 33% from 2010 to 2023. This is a big deal because well, for a few reasons, right? It's indicative of affiliation, but it's also a lost opportunity for grace, right? It's a lost opportunity for grace when these people aren't showing up to receive the Eucharist. That needs to be accounted for when we make decisions. We need to get people back to Mass. And I've got some ideas on that, but the point of this video is not the ideas and the movement forward. The point is just to show you some of these statistics so that we can then all be on the same page as we move forward. Now, Mass attendance was declining before COVID, so that COVID, that's not really an excuse. Mass attendance is on the decline as a whole. Okay, sacramental trends, right? The sacraments, people aren't showing up to the sacraments. We have less weddings, we have less baptisms, we have less funerals. When you go down and look at first communions and confirmations, we have less and less. We have an overall decline of 37.8% from 2010 to 2023 in first communions. Confirmations have been in decline to 35.5%. That is huge when you talk about the sacramental grace that is not being unleashed upon the world, right? We need the grace of God in our lives. And so many people are deciding not to do that. And so we just need to be on the same page so that we can move forward and do something about that. So priests, this is another thing. So when the diocese is projecting out priests, right, they have this 10-year estimate for the priesthood, and they say, okay, we are going to have, we have 52 priests right now of non-retirement age. And in 10 years, we're going to have less than that. We're going to have 51 priests. Now, this is something that I don't understand. Why, when we project out, are we worse off than right now? Don't we have a vision in place to say, this is what we're going to do to increase the amount of priests that we have in 10 years? We need a plan. First, we have to be on the same page, but then we need a plan to get us better off. And so I do want to just kind of put that question mark there because we'll see it again here in a second. But just so you know, the diocese is estimating that by 2034, we're going to have one less priest than we do now. Okay. When we go down to youth formation, these are the trends. Because I'm a father of 6, I look at these trends and they scare me because I say, who's going to marry my children? Right? It's going to get tough out there. So the faith formation in the diocese has declined 41.6%. in the last, since 2010. We're down 41%. People aren't sending their kids to faith formation. And that makes sense, right? Because now they're not getting them baptized and confirmed and all those things that come along with the sacraments that come along with faith formation, or the affiliation that would come with being catechized and going to faith formation. But whatever, we're doing this wrong, and we just need to recognize that. There can be good people out there, and there are many good people out there that are trying to do good things, but we also, have to meet reality at some point and say whatever we're doing is not working when we have a 41% decline from 2010 to 2023. And then look down at the Catholic schools. It doesn't get any better. Catholic schools, between 2011 and 2024, 8.1% decline in enrollment, K through 12. But again, what floors me, I don't understand why this is. And if there's someone out there that can help me understand, please, I would love to know. Why is it that we're projecting another decline over the next 10 years? So from 2024 to 2034, we're projected to decline 8.1% again. So we're just continuing to decline. That's the projection. If you were a business owner and you went to your shareholders and you said, we've declined 8.1% and we're looking to decline another 8.1% in the next 10 years, what would happen to that CEO? What would happen to that business owner, right? I mean, I'm trying to stay charitable. You can see why I filmed this video so many times and I've tried to bring the temperature down. I have kids. I need to figure out how to educate them in the faith, and they need friends that are educated in the faith. And we need a community. We need a world that's educated in the Catholic faith, because it is the fullness of truth. I don't know. So we're not going to have as many priests in 10 years. We're not going to have as many Catholic school children in 10 years. I don't know what we're doing for our sacramental prep and our faith formation that's going to change. So probably that's going to continue to decline. I have heard no plans about our mass attendance, how we're going to turn that around. What are we to hope for? What are we to hope for? Now, when this diocese was formed, it was formed, in the mid-1800s. Father Francis Xavier Pierce, he came here, and he wrote back and he said to all the people, Slovenians, he wrote and he said, look, come here to Minnesota, central Minnesota, have great farmland, and all of your spiritual needs will be provided. This will be the best place for you to raise your family. And I look as a person that's living in this diocese today, and I look at the trends, and I don't hear a vision, and I don't hear a plan for how we're going to turn those trends around. So for me, just speaking openly and honestly, when I look at the trends and I don't hear a vision, and I look at their projections, right? Their projections are we're still going to be in dire circumstances in 10 years. We need to do something different. As lay people, we need to do something different. We have to be bold, and we have to try things, and we have to build things. We have to rebuild the church in the Diocese of St. Cloud. And so if that's something, I don't want to keep going on about this. If this is something that you want to do, I'm going to just cut it off here. If this is something that you want to do, if you look at this and you say, no, like, okay, we have to do something about it, then here's what I would say. I think you should, let me just change this here real quick. Go to St. Cloud Catholic. This is like a plug, but it's not really a plug. It's like, if you want to do something, let's do it, right? Let's galvanize enough people together, and let's join forces, and let's go do something. Let's build churches. Let's build communities. Let's support families. So stcloudcatholic.com is a place that we're going to have a newsletter. That newsletter is going to connect like-minded people. We're going to have a school. I've already started a school. We're going to grow the school so that we have a place to educate our kids. And then a college. We need a college so that people can grow in wisdom. So we're going to provide for the needs, and we're going to make this again the best place for Catholics to raise their family. If that's something you're interested in, join us at stcloudcatholic.com.